Steve, you're an entrepreneur, founding member of Arete Syndicate, podcaster, motivational speaker, man. Thank you so much for taking time, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's I know it's been a little bit, but I'm glad we finally got connected.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And as I was reading your story, I was really blown away about where you've come from, like what you've been through, and now where you're at today. And I love that you mentioned that you never saw the appeal of working for someone else. When did you decide that you wanted to be an entrepreneur? What was that drive to go there?
My grandfather came from Slovenia after the war in the early 1950s with a grade 5 education. He came here to Canada. He started digging ditches for cash. He started a masonry company, and he built this great empire that my dad later joined the journey. And I had these strong men in my life that were entrepreneurs. That was the first thing. I saw my dad get up every morning before the sun got up, and he came home when I was in bed, and I saw what the grind looked like, right? Yeah. I saw the before and I saw the after of what happens when you pursue entrepreneurship and you find success. I saw the fruits of that labor. And the other thing is, I was born with a serious chronic illness called Crohn's disease, and I battled it my whole life. And I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I did recognize at a young age that I'm probably not going to be employable forever. And I needed to do something early on in my career when I had health and I was able-bodied, and that just really spurred me on.
Gotcha. You mentioned that Crohn's disease. Though it doesn't define you, it's definitely a huge part of your story. How has that made you the person that you are today, man?
It's been sick since I was 2, and you learn a lot about yourself when you spend a lot of time in hospital rooms waiting for X-rays, waiting for CT scans. There's a lot of tears. There's a lot of physical pain. There's a lot of emotional pain, and you just find a way to persevere. And I know in my heart that I believe in my heart I can get through anything, because I believe that God has given me certain gifts. I believe that we're all anointed, and I believe that he anointed me with this disease. My son has this disease. I feel like it's just my belief that I was given this disease knowing that my son was going to have it so that I could help him handle it. So it's just made me more self-aware, and it's taught me how to fight and just never give up.
Wow, man. And your story about going into the insurance industry is really cool, because you were in college, then you started your insurance industry. You had built up to 10 team members by year 3, and then you had to go undergo a surgery, right? You were out for a while. You lost a bunch of income. What's happening in your mind mentally during this time, and how did you get through that?
At that time, what I was thinking about was I had a little business, and I had 10 or so odd reps showing up, and I wasn't making much, maybe a couple $100,000 a year. And that year, when I was in and out of the hospital for the entire year, I still made, I think, $150,000 that year from my hospital bed. And what I realized in that moment was, I need to be an entrepreneur. Because had I been at my job where I was working at a restaurant, I'd probably had been living at home with my parents in their basement suite, collecting disability benefits because to survive. So I was so glad I went to work when I could.
Yeah.
And I was so glad that I didn't waste the time that I had healthy, because the storm was coming, and it came. And I was so glad I built a boat, and not just a little dinghy in the middle of the storm. I had a pretty decent sized boat to carry me through that storm. So I was just thanking God every day for all the blessings that I had leading into this big surgery, which ended up having me remove about 8 feet of lower intestine.
And now you've built your business to over 250 insurance reps, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yes, sir.
It's crazy, dude. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, honestly, I wake up every day and I count my blessings. My only sister, who's my best friend, her and her husband are in the business with me. I met my wife in our company. All the men at my wedding party are full-time with me in business. My wife's family is in business with us too. And all those people I mentioned make over 6 figures. So for me, it's so amazing to have people around you that are succeeding, especially ones you care about. I think that's the greatest gift.
Absolutely. Wanted to kind of go back a little bit. You are, like I mentioned, one of the founding members of Arete Syndicate. How did you get involved with Arete Syndicate? And for those who don't know, what is Arete Syndicate?
Absolutely. So Ed Mylett has been a mentor and a friend of mine for over 10 years. He's associated with our company. It's how he built most of his wealth early on, is through our company. He's the greatest of all time, I'll tell you, with our company. Great friend of mine. And I know that everything that Ed puts his mind to happens. I have had a front row seat to watch one of my heroes in my life set an intention and get after it and accomplish it. So when Ed told me, he goes, "Hey, I'm working on something with Andy. I can't talk much about it. Here's what it's going to be." I didn't even, there was no question that I was going to follow Ed into battle. And then getting to know Andy, I mean, this guy's a beast.
Yeah.
Right. This guy's a beast, but as fierce and competitive and rough and raw and real as he is on the outside, there's an unbelievable human being on the inside. And I think that people that don't get to know Andy kind of personally, I don't know him personally like I want to, but people that don't get close to Andy, I don't think they really get to see the full heart of what that man is. And thank God for things like Instagram, because you can really tell through his story. So when I was introduced to these two men and they said, "Look, we want to be the blue check mark for entrepreneurship." Well, I mean, we're at a time right now where everybody on Instagram is an entrepreneur. I mean, we're in the era of Instagram entrepreneurs. But the question is always, how many of these people have actually built a business? Right? Everybody has a webinar they're selling. Everybody has a real estate course. Everybody's got all this crap that they're selling. But how many of these people actually built a business? And these two men have built empires in their own rights, all started from nothing, built this huge empire, and they want to build the greatest force for entrepreneurship the world has ever seen. They call it the verification badge for entrepreneurship. And as soon as it launched, I jumped on board. So
sure.
That's basically what it's all about.
And you were out at Ed's house here in Coeur d'Alene earlier this year. It's on my bucket list to go visit his house, but hopefully one of these days. What was that experience like being at his place, man?
It was, I mean, it's almost a spiritual experience, because, I mean, there are two reasons. One is you get to see the house. It's beautiful. You obviously, you imagine it one day to be your asset, even if that's not even your style of a house. Yeah. Which happens, it does happen to be for me. But even if that house is not something you would build, just to be standing in there, the beauty. The second thing is to watch a man like Ed in his dream.
Yeah.
Watch a guy who started in our business, I think, in his early 20s, standing in that dream, a dream that he envisioned for years on that rock. To watch that from kind of third party is life-changing, because it just shows me that it's possible. Yeah,
absolutely. One of my favorite episodes of your podcast is one that you recently did called 5 Reasons You Can't Quit Yet. What do you mean by that yet?
It's awesome. I love that. So I tell my guys from day one, I said, everybody quits in this business. They're like, "Oh man, like what are you talking about?" So everybody quits. Either you're going to retire from the wealth that you create from this business and you're going to quit working, or you're going to quit altogether. I said, but everybody quits. You quit, everybody on your team's going to quit. The question is, how do they quit? So when I talk about you can't quit yet, I said that what I meant by that is there's going to be a time where, you're going to get to quit doing what you did to get to where you're at. And if you're like me, you might want to work to the day you die because you have the entrepreneurial spirit, but there's going to come a day where you go to work because you want to, not because you have to.
Yeah.
And that's when you're allowed to, if you want to, stop doing some of the things you did to get there in the first place.
Right. Man, it's awesome, dude. Wanted to transition to a couple fun questions, but when you're not working, what are you doing for fun?
Yeah, when I'm not working, I'm hanging out with my kids.
Okay.
I am building relationships with my kids. I'm building relationships with people in our community. You know, there's my wife and I have a couple date nights a week that we schedule, so we're spending time together. But man, I got 3 little kids, 7, 5, and 3, the most precious human beings in the world. And every opportunity I get, I am spending time with them. I'm learning from them. I'm teaching them. We go to church together, and we travel together. So a lot of time with my kids, and then building relationships with couples and people and individuals that are in line with our purpose, whether it's in the fitness realm, faith realm, business realm, health realm, and finance realm. And then just for fun, I like to dirt bike and golf.
Cool. Yeah, my kids are 9 and 6, man. So definitely in that same age group, man. They're so much fun.
It's awesome.
But I'm a music guy. What's your favorite type of music, or do you have a favorite band that you listen to?
Oh man, you know what? I'm a country guy. So okay. I'm from Alberta here. My favorite singer all time is a guy by the name of Brett Kissel. Okay. He's a good old Canadian boy. He's got a bunch of new hits out. I love country. You know, I love Tim McGraw. I love Garth Brooks. I grew up in the Garth Brooks era. Yeah. So I could go with any one of their classics, and that would just melt my heart.
That's awesome. You really do impact and inspire a ton of people, and you might have mentioned this earlier, but who inspires you and motivates you to be successful?
Man, I think my grandfather inspires me to be successful. He passed away in 2001, but you know, I probably think about him 6 days a week. I know that he's watching, and I really want to make him proud. I feel like, although he died when I was 20, I really felt like he really believed in me, and I feel like, even without saying it, I feel like he looked at me like, dude, you were destined for greatness. Yeah. And I want to fulfill that. I know I'll meet again, and I want to make him proud. He's my number one guy, and then my dad, and then you know, a couple of mentors of mine, but those are the two players that I would talk about.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Also wanted to give you an opportunity, really just give a shout out to your family or anybody that's on your team or your business. The video is all yours right now, man.
Yeah, I mean, I want to let you guys know that what you see here today is not the guy that started 14 years ago in business. I'm a complete inversion of myself. And yeah, there's been a lot of personal growth and self-growth, but I want to let you know that I'm nothing without my team around me. Right. What you see here is just a guy that has surrounded himself with people, in my opinion, that are better than me. I have an amazing wife who works even harder than I do. I have an amazing best friend in Chad and Jen Thompson, and I got powerful single moms like Alessio Brianic around me, and you know I Melissa and Jared Sled's my brother and sister. Like, these people that I've surrounded myself with. It's just world class, and I wake up every day and I think, man, like, these are such good people. I just want to do good, and I want to be good around them. So, you know, just surround yourself with good people. It really is the key, because you're going to become the average of the 5 people you hang around the most in the books you read. And you really have to, that really needs to resonate with you, because it's true. So I just want to give a shout out to my team and my family.
Steve, it's been an honor to talk to you today, man. It's you are absolutely changing the world, man, and impacting so many lives, man. So for me, it's such an honor to be able to talk to you today, man. Thank you so much for your time.
I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. We should do it again sometime.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for hanging around. Really appreciate it. If you'd like to see more videos from Top Rated MMA and the Bearded Biz Show, please click the playlist and also hit subscribe to our channel. Become part of the Top Rated MMA and Bearded Biz community. We would really appreciate your support. Also, please leave a comment below. I will read and respond to all of them. Thank you so much. Have an awesome day.